If walls could talk, the QE2 would have enough stories to fill an entire history library, and now she does. Docked permanently in Dubai, the legendary Queen Elizabeth II is no longer crossing oceans, but offering visitors a chance to step into her glittering past through the QE2 Heritage Tour.
This is exactly as it was in 1969. When people used to travel back in 1969, there was two classes of travel, first class and second class. And this area that you see behind me is original to that era, where every single first class guest was welcomed on board and taken individually by the purser to the room.
The tour winds through staterooms, ballrooms, and decks once walked by the world's rich and royal. Every corner tells a story, with some of the memorabilia donated by former guests.
One of the motivations behind our museum called the Traveller's Cove was some years ago a guest asked to see me in the lobby. So I was delighted to go down and meet with him. And as it turns out, in tidying up his mother's home who had passed the previous year, he found a selection of menus from the QE2 in 1969. And he took the time to package these and bring them back to us. So I felt it was only appropriate that we honour him and his family, and we created this specific Dining Through the Ages segment of our museum with the Walters family, that they hand-carried these menus back to our museum here on board.
As we walked the same corridors once graced by royalty and stars, one wonders what sparked the idea to turn this ship into a living museum.
A lot of former passengers and crew started to reach out to us to donate memorabilia over the last 40 years. And we created this museum called the Traveller's Cove, which was the original Harrods shop. However, one of my favourite pieces and my favourite item indeed on the ship is the Queen's Jubilee chair that's just over here on the left-hand side. A chair especially commissioned for Her Majesty. And if you see behind the chair, all of her Queen's captains are seated behind her. So the chair in its own right is fabulous. However, to have the Queen seated in the chair on the queue with all the captains is just a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
One stop draws special attention, a coat of arms belonging to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Even rarer, a striking portrait of the Queen Mother hangs nearby.
Dating back to the 1940s, it's a portrait of Her Majesty the Queen Mother. Unparalleled and nothing like it anywhere in the world except here in Dubai on board the QE2. Is the Queen Mother the most spectacular item on the ship.
Standing on the ship's original bridge, surrounded by vintage instruments and echoes of command, you're stepping into living history. Conceived in the 1960s and preserved till this day thanks to Dubai, the QE2 offers future generations a rare sense of the past and a rare glimpse of true maritime legacy. She once ruled the oceans. Now she floats through time. The iconic QE2 has carried stories across the seas for a journey into nautical nostalgia. And with Dubai being a city that looks to the future, this incredible ship reminds us how powerful it is to remember. Amal Al-Jabri, Emirates News.